Good morning and happy Sabbath, Ypsilanti and friends. I come on behalf of the Health Ministries team, Ceres Fabre and Lindy Ann Bourne, to bring you a very special health nugget as we hear the experience that Keisha Dukes had personally with COVID-19. Keisha, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I was honored to be asked to be a part of this, so thank you for having me.
So tell us about the beginning. What kind of symptoms did you have? When did you know that you had it? Just kind of walk us through that.
I started experiencing some flu-like symptoms towards the end of March, and for about a week I thought I had the flu, and I was told to self-quarantine because my symptoms were severe enough to be tested for the COVID-19. So from then, and from that time, I was experiencing fever and chills for about a week until it got to the point where I couldn't manage it on my own, or I couldn't manage the symptoms and know what was going on. So for about a week after the end of March, beginning of April, probably the end of the first week of April, I went into the ER because at that point I was having body aches, headache, extreme fatigue. And when I got to the ER the end of the first week of April, they tested me there.
Okay.
And that's when I found out it was positive for the virus.
Wow, that must have been quite the emotional roller coaster, and to know that you had this COVID-19 with the way it's been presented in the media. So they did this, they took the test, you received the results actually pretty quickly, and then they sent you home. What kind of advice did they give sending you home?
They sent me home saying that just to manage my symptoms with Tylenol, my fever with Tylenol, and to self-quarantine for 2 weeks, which I had already started quarantining myself.
Okay.
At the beginning.
So what did you do? I mean, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of advice, just to go home and just kind of wait it out.
Right. I really felt like I was on my own with that. I was scared. I was shocked to know that it was actually the virus because I was taking every precaution that I knew. So when they told me to come home and basically hope that I get better and call them if I got worse, that's when I started to finish the actions that I already started, as far as taking the homeopathic remedies that I was told, advice that I was given through other friends. And I also put into place some other principles for health, natural health that I could do.
So tell us what you did. So
there's 8 laws of health, that advice that I was given. A good friend of mine gave me some information. New Start principles is what they call
Okay, all right. And for those who may not know what the New Start principles, New Start is an acronym that stands for, N is for nutrition, E for exercise, W for water, S for sunshine, T for temperance, or balancing, so good things in moderation, bad things, eliminate those. A for fresh air, R for rest, and T for trust in God. So you were following those principles.
I was following those principles as much as I could. And there was also contrast showers. So a form of hydrotherapy that I implemented. I took some other homeopathic remedies, like large doses of vitamin C, about 2,000 milligrams a day.
Okay.
Zinc. There was oil of oregano, was another homeopathic remedy that someone told me about. Garlic is another one. Those things those were things that advice that was given me from another Adventist friend, and that seemed to be the most effective in helping me to, stave it off as much as I could in the beginning and come through it.
Describe for us the contrast showers. Exactly what does that entail?
So the contrast showers is when you get into the shower and you take about 3 minutes of hot water, as hot as you can stand it, and then you switch to cold for about a minute. And I would do a cycle of that, maybe 3 or 4 cycles of that. And I was doing that like twice a day. And I don't know in what way it helps to boost the immune system, but that was a remedy that
Yes,
I felt, help was
that
helpful.
that's one of the things they say it's good because it helps to stimulate the production of white blood cells. So that's the benefit of those, what they call contrast showers. Tell us a little bit about your diet. What kind of things did you eat or could you eat? Did you have an appetite?
I did not have an appetite for close to an entire week. Um, I didn't lose my sense of taste completely or smell
Mhm.
completely like some others do, but everything that I ate was just it was disgusting, even water
Hmm.
for some reason. And so I had very little appetite, but when I could eat, I would eat things like oranges. I would drink pineapple juice, which is also another thing that they said is
Hmm.
good for um, attacking the coronavirus, pineapple juice. And so those are a couple of things that I was able to stomach.
Okay, all right. And you were sharing with me before the interview that one of the things that you experienced that was really difficult to manage was your fatigue.
Yes, I would say out of all of the symptoms that I experienced, that was the most difficult for me to even to deal with. It was the most
Hmm.
trying, I guess, because I had very little energy basically to even get out and take those showers. That was the energy that I had in my reserves was used to
Hmm.
take contrast showers or to clean myself. And one day I changed my sheets and that was about all I could do. I was extremely fatigued with that.
Now, one of the things that you believe assisted you in fighting this off was some of the things that you did prior to even contracting the virus. So you had started an exercise program. How was that?
So a good friend of mine we challenged each other on walking basically 8 miles a week. So I at least would get in 8 miles of walking a week. At the end of October, I started that. And I believe that helped me so much when it came to my capacity to breathe and getting
Mhm.
oxygen throughout my body, doing cardio.
Okay.
And I really believe and boosting my immune system. I had already began that, and I really believe that helped me by the time I got to the ER, I believe they sent me home because my oxygen levels did not, they wouldn't justify them keeping me
Okay.
because it was at such a good level. I didn't have
Mm.
any problem breathing. I didn't have any of those other symptoms that would be comorbidities to this virus.
Okay.
I
Very
believe that
good.
exercise was a key to that.
So this was quite the experience, and we're grateful to God because He obviously brought you through it. I'd like for you to share what learnings have you taken away from this experience? What kind of advice would you give to others, maybe?
The advice that I would give to others is to get ahead of it. Don't wait until you get to a point where you're contracting something to start taking supplements or following the health principles. Start now and arm yourself. Arm yourself with knowledge and putting into practice those things that you know you can do. When I had the symptoms and I was experiencing it, I couldn't walk. But
Mhm.
I knew that at the end of this thing, I was going to be coming out of it. I was grateful to God that I had started taking those precautions and taking all those necessary measures because I felt like that's what helped me go through it. So
Okay.
that's what I would tell people to get
So,
ahead of it.
and with this stay-at-home order, and to some degree, we're not necessarily completely quarantined, but we're staying home a lot longer and more than. And you mentioned to me that to some degree it's a mixed blessing, and because it for you it gave you some realizations or it revealed some things to you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I felt like sometimes we get so busy in our lives, and I especially, that we don't sit still take time to hear, and our time in prayer and alone time with God tends to take a back seat. And this really forced me to be still and hear God's voice. And he was revealing a lot to me on a personal level of areas that I had placed before him. Just to be transparent, there was many areas that I needed to repent about. And God used this sickness as an opportunity for me to face those things and just basically just be still and be quiet and pray to him. And that I'm thankful that he allowed this, because it brought me back to him. And I'm hoping that other people will take that opportunity and not wait until there's a sickness for it to happen like it did for me.
Well, Keisha, we want to thank you for taking the time to share with us what you've experienced, what you've learned, and advice, suggestions that you would give to us so that we could weather the storm, even whether we contract the virus or not, how we can improve our relationship with Jesus Christ. And thank you very much. I just want to tell everyone who's watching that the Health Ministries team plans to bring more information. We'll post things on the Ypsilanti Adventist website. That's ypsisda.net, that you can tune in and get some of the suggestions that Keisha spoke of. We'll be posting that information so that you'll see things all along the way, and that we will pray for God's continued blessing and to see us through this journey that we are now in. So thank you, Keisha.
Thank you, Debbie. God bless you.
God bless you too.